Wake up! Wake up, wake up! College Football Nation, appreciate you being here, of course, at the voice of college football. Do you like the theme music? Did it work? I wanted to go catchy, springy, good vibes, good positivity, energy, upbeat. And I know you guys, as I listened to it there for the entirety again, and of course, while selecting it, I listened to about 25 different cuts. Yeah, I understand it's going to get a little bit old. It may run a little long at times. We're producing an intro. We'll make that quick, boom, 15 seconds and out. But if you stick around, maybe you started to bounce a little bit to that. Maybe we'll do a little, maybe we won't. I don't know that I have it in me at 8 o'clock in the morning, but hey, I'm getting there. I am becoming a morning person. I am doing that, and you are all along for the journey in me becoming a morning person. It's all going to play out in front of you. So welcome to the Voice of College Football, and specifically to Wake Up College Football. And for everybody that joined us yesterday, thank you for being here for our initial voyage and making on back every day. We're going to go Monday through Thursday. So talking about breaking in the new schedule, the new vibe, the early morning. So it's one thing to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's not like that's foreign to me at all. But in terms of waking up at 7 o'clock and being ready at 8 o'clock to actually speak and look somewhat presentable and look like I'm presentable and awake and not like I just slept for 18 hours, or slept for 2 hours, that's another deal. So me talking in the morning, and I have said this to a few special people in my life / significant others, as you could imagine, at times, and just let them know I'm not necessarily great or approachable. Just give me a half hour, give me 45 minutes. Don't really want to talk about world issues or whatever the issues are around the house. Like first thing in the morning, just give me some time to ease in. I'm not a coffee drinker. Now, people at ESPN, and this camera shot's bothering me, so let's give it just a slight adjustment. We get the camera crew in here. Thank you. And so folks, especially at ESPN, that was the place where I worked the worst hours. And after 19 years was still requesting better hours, but you know, that's another subject for another time. But people were always amazed that I didn't drink coffee. They said, Mark, you work these hours and you get this much sleep. And especially having little kids, and many of you can relate to this, having little kids, and I've almost forgotten, this was almost a lifetime ago in a sense, or so it seems, like sleeping like 3 hours, just being basically sleep deprived and miserable from that standpoint. Although the joy of having kids is, there's nothing like it. It's the best thing in the world. But just kind of the status and the state of life of just being miserable and just physically being worn out all the time because you don't sleep. In those days, we're going to bed at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, getting up with the kids at 7, 8 in the morning, and spending the day with them before I went to work. But we've all lived it in some fashion. So here we go on Wake Up College Football. And I got to say that when I first thought of this, maybe a month to 6 weeks ago, and I got to thank my guy, Sonny Verma, for basically reigniting that thought. So Sonny, you can catch him most notably for us on the Texas channel. We fired up the Texas channel, relaunched it, reinvigorated the Texas channel last night with a big watch party or relaunch party. It was a live stream. We'll just keep it at that with our guy, Matthew Miller. And again, Sonny Verma going to be producing content. He of the Illini cast in the Big Ten Show channel. suggested, hey, Mark, you could be reaching a different audience early in the morning. And I said, Sonny, I've been thinking about this for years, doing a morning show. And I get so many comments from people that say, Mark, I watch your content early in the morning. And that's why I'm not there for the live streams. That's why I'm not there to comment live, call in, do all those things. And but I still enjoy the content and I'm still there for you, but I just take it in the next morning. So here we are. Here we are. I have to admit, it hit me as I was getting out of bed that I didn't think about this yesterday, but as I was preparing for today, and when I say preparing, so most of the morning shows that you're accustomed to, they've got a staff of 25 or 30 people, and they're preparing for the 8 a.m. show at 4 o'clock in the morning and the night before and all that sort of thing. The preparation here at the Voice of College Football, just to bring you up to speed on that and kind of take you behind the veiled curtain, not necessarily quite up to those standards, but we try to deliver that we try to make up for that in different ways. So as I was getting out of bed and then fumbling around to find a few things, then actually almost allowing myself to just, I can doze for 40 seconds, a minute, can't I? And I don't mean put it on snooze and no, I can just trust myself. No, I can't trust myself to do that. So I quickly mark no, because you're going to wake up. It's going to be 8:06. You're going to be late. So the alarm set for 7:03. Why 7:03? I don't know. It needed to be around 7 o'clock. Give myself 3 more minutes to sleep. So it was 7:03 on day 1, 7:03 on day 2. By day 13, maybe 7:19, and then we'll go from there. Because yesterday, again, I realized as I got out of bed today and started to prepare and gather things for the show, that day 1 kind of had first day vibes to it a bit. It just really did have first day vibes to it for me. First day of school vibes, I should say. I know it's been forever, but I kind of remembered that feeling of, you get your clothes ready, you get your new notebooks ready, and your pencils are brand new, and in all of that, your book bag might be new. Maybe your mom got you a new book bag for that particular school year, and you just had that fresh feel, that clean new feel, and you wanted to get up early and be ready and get everything. And then for some of us by day 4 to day 5, for some of us, maybe it took a month, but at some point, you're sleeping an extra 15 or 20 minutes, you're rushing out the door, that sort of thing. I was starting to have those kind of vibes on day 2 this morning, because yesterday morning I got down here and it was like 7:30. And for those of you that watch me on a regular basis, I got to say, because we've got so much going on here at the Voice of College Football, I'm not preparing for these shows to the degree that I would like to, with graphics and preparing stories and doing all those things. I would love to prepare a much better show for all of you folks. But it's usually just, hey, I'm coming from the last thing, boom. We go to the live stream and, hey, we just rev it up. And so yesterday felt kind of strange because I got down here to my kitchen. I had my little lineup drawn up. I had the music ready to go and the graphic and everything else. And it's like 7:30. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do for a half hour? Okay, this is kind of strange. I'm not used to this. I am not used to this. I am always rushing to the last second before I deliver any live stream with all of you. So I had those thoughts in bed at 7:03 that, I had that cushion yesterday. Come on, do I need to get out of bed right now? Okay, Mark, you better get out of bed. Or again, this is not going to go well. So appreciate you all being here at the Voice of College Football. We always appreciate that. We never take it for granted. 35 on the line. I thought about goals yesterday. Maybe I was a little impatient jumping ahead to goals for this show. like to get 3,000 views on this show. That's not a lot to gun for. We had about 600 or 700 yesterday. So hopefully we don't lose who we had on day one. And we're going to check out your feedback from day one as well. That's going to be part of today's show. But yeah, first day of school vibes, definitely. And then today, more second day of school or third week of school vibes, getting ready for the show. But we wanted to make some adjustments, some improvements to the show right out of the gate. I talked about yesterday how I've got my mic set up because there is so much reverb and echo in this room. I'm sure you can hear it, even with the mic. But if I didn't have the mic, it would be crazy. I would be in like stereo multiple times. But once we get some carpeting, furniture in here, that'll deaden the noise and the sound. But so I had told many of you, or I guess I told all of you, if you were watching yesterday, I didn't like make personal phone calls to any of you, but that we were going to go with a wireless mic. That we had, I was excited to get the wireless mic and move around the kitchen, do some cooking, still talk to everybody and be heard. So this is going to be the big improvement, not for day two. It arrived sometime yesterday afternoon, and I did not have the opportunity to work on this baby. So hopefully, I am not promising, because we've got a busy day at the Boys of College Football, not promising that this will be installed for tomorrow's show, but within the next couple of days. The wireless mic was supposed to be the big addition for day two. Actually, I thought I ordered it in time to have this ready to go for day one. Well, check out your comments. I'm so amused and look forward to reading your comments. We'll get to those in just a second. So do you know what the big improvement for day two is? It's an enormous improvement for me. Not necessarily for any of you. Do you care? Can you tell that I'm about a half-inch taller today? I'm sure you can. I'm sure that's been the buzz in the chat. Mark looks taller today. Well, I got to say that this is a strange thing that I never noticed before. But since I moved in here, which was almost exactly a month ago, I think it was March 11th. So a little over a month ago that I moved in here, and the entire bottom floor here is tile. And when I walk around here for a while in my bare feet, I don't feel great. My back, I don't know what it is. The hard floor. And so standing here for 2 hours was not comfortable. But I also know that just having, this seems ridiculous, but maybe some of you are back experts or know a little bit more than I do. And for as many times as I've been to a chiropractor, which I was yesterday as well, you would think I would know a little bit more about these things, but just simply wearing socks makes a difference. It's crazy. Doesn't seem like it would, but I put my flip-flops on. Put the flip-flops on. I should be feeling much more comfortable today. So expect just that much better of a performance out of the Voice of College Football on today's show because I've got the flip-flops on. I'm sure that that will make a world of difference. You'll see it. More smiles on my face and less grimaces, I guess. We got a big day here at the Voice of College Football, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Transfer portal update. Yes, this is the day, everyone. This is the day. The number was around 2,300 a few days ago, going back to last August. 2,300 out of approximately 13,000 college football players. So we've got 105 players on each team, only 85 scholarships, 105 players, 135 teams we're up to. So 13,000 plus football players, 3,000 of them, 2,300. That was the number I saw the other day, according to a reliable source in the transfer portal. So the floodgates will be opening. They're expecting something in the range of 700 to 800. Boom, day one, day two, the first couple days. So we'll be all over it. I know that there are already a few out there Damian Martinez, the Oregon State running back who led the Pac-12 in rushing last year. He will not be leading the Pac-12 in rushing this year. I guarantee that. But he was first team all conference, 1,200 yards. Plus, he's in the transfer portal. Keandre Lambert-Smith, good little wide receiver out of Penn State, could have went to the NFL. Not a great player, not great, really good wide receiver, capable wide receiver. Caught 4 touchdowns last year, I believe was the number. He's in the transfer portal as well. And of course, we will go through it today, live, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going live every day this week at 3 p.m. Eastern time, okay? Transfer portal update. We've got our Iowa show at 5:30. We've got our Nebraska shows typically at 7. But our guy, Justin Adams, is not necessarily under the weather, but his voice is shot. And he's such a gamer. He wanted to keep it going. Mark, I'm so sorry. I can't get these videos done. My voice is shot. He's texting all this to me. And we get on the phone, and I'm not questioning it in any way. Justin's amazing. Justin is amazing. What he's doing with the Nebraska channel right now, you got to get on over there, and there's more to come. Believe me, Justin is phenomenal. And yeah, I heard it firsthand over the phone. I'm like, Justin, with everyone who helps us here, the Voice of College Football, and if you don't know this, if you're listening right now, and you are a part of what we do here, the Voice of College Football, I hope you know, because I try to remind everyone of this all the time. Hey, your personal health, your family, all those things. Never hesitate to say, Mark, I can't do a show tonight, or whatever the case might be. I'd like to know as soon as possible. That's all we'd like to know. But some things in life come way ahead of college football. And I've come to realize that more and more each year. I think I started to come to that realization when I was watching Ohio State, #1 in the country in 1998, should have won the national championship, should have been given the opportunity to play for a national championship, was going down in flames to Nick Saban and Michigan State as a 19-point favorite. And my little boy Landry, who's now 27, was like, clasping at my ankle, hugging me, wanting me to play with him. So that was one of those epiphanies in life that, yeah, I'm pissed off about Ohio State losing probably a national championship tonight to an inferior team. And this team is the best team in the country. I know it, but hey, you get those reality checks in life from time to time. All right. So yes, the wireless mic install coming soon. Flip-flops are on. If the show doesn't quite meet your standards, doesn't seem like it's quite up to standard, let's keep in mind my preparation was also cut down by it being trash day. So I'm still getting used to the flow of the trash week cycle, Tuesdays and Fridays. So it was about 10 minutes to go. Oh, got to get the trash out there. So the 4 minutes that I was robbed of preparation, which included also, thought I would share all of this with you. And if I was a true professional, I would have taken the time, or if I would have had the time because I would have thought of it, I would have downloaded these pictures and then been able to pull them up so you could actually see them. But we'll see if they translate. So I'm out there, and so we've got that reminded me to also water my plant. So I told you about my close buddy, Keith, his wife, Debbie, how good they've been to me, taking care of me, feeding me practically every other day. And so they got me this plant and some other fine gifts. And so I'm trying to not neglect watering the plant. I don't think it needs a whole lot. I read up a little bit, but so I was reminded to water the plant. And then, remember the jackhammer that was outside bothering me, hopefully a lot more than you. It didn't seem to make an issue out there. I've not rewatched the show. Will not be rewatching these shows. Hopefully you will. But yeah, that's what was going on there. I headed out yesterday afternoon, and this was hours after. I'm the type person, there's so many things going on that something can be in my mind or something that I should be able to remember an hour later. But even 10 minutes later, it seems like that was days ago. And so the jackhammering incident there, that's at the bottom of my driveway. So I had the garage door down, and so I'm coming out of the garage. I live in a very quiet neighborhood, not that I shouldn't be looking back and forth, but I could not see these cones. They were too low, especially since the driveway goes down slightly, that I felt a gentle tap there, and I'm like, what's going on? Yes, that's right at the bottom of my driveway. So, which is fine if they're things they need to get done. And so then finally as I came in after watering the plant and taking that fine picture of the bottom of my driveway and taking out the trash, thought I would take a picture for all of you. Some of you won't care, some of you will applaud, and understanding that a certain fan base is our largest fan base here at the Voice of College Football. They have a famous fight song. Well, I guess they all have famous fight songs. I don't want to hum it, but you know who you are. I am convinced, even though we've taken very unofficial polls, we've never officially confirmed this, the largest fan base here at the Voice of College Football, probably going to turn some of you off, because as I noted yesterday, when I took exception to Ryan Day being raked over the coals for simply saying, we've been so close the last couple of years, we just need to tighten up some things. And he was talking very big picture, not specifically like, oh, we weren't one play away, we were 2 plays away. Sorry, I said one play. I said one drive here, one play here, there. We could have, and this can easily be defended, that Ohio State has been one play away from a national championship in 2022, and basically one play away from going to the playoff last year as the number 1 seed at 12-0. Anyway, again, we can stop with the guessing. You Michigan fans, you're amazing. You're here. I appreciate that. You are here. I am sometimes amazed because I do take my shots at Michigan. I take my shots at everyone, actually, including the Scarlet and Gray. But so I took a picture of, why does it not flip the right way? So, so what that is, if you can't tell, that was a gift from my realtor. That's a doormat. It says Ohio State. It's got the logo there with the Rogers family. Now, did I request that? Of course not. It was a gift. And also keep in mind that my realtor, probably a bigger Ohio State fan than I am. I used to claim to be, if somebody would ask me, I would term myself, it's not like I went around every day proclaiming this from the rooftops, but if asked in a certain way, I would have said years ago, I'm the biggest Ohio State fan on the planet. I also equated knowledge to level of fandom. Like, okay, well, I know more than just about anyone, therefore I must be the biggest fan. It means the most to me. I'm the most passionate. I'm the most hurt when they lose. And again, I know the roster up and down. I know the scores of, at one point, believe it or not, I could recite every Ohio State score since 1978 through the present year. I couldn't quite do that. They've mainly seeped out of my brain. I could come very close. But I would never make that claim now. Nope. I know, including my realtor now, many Ohio State fans that are bigger fans than I am. We will get to the headlines, everyone. But I did come across this as well. Now that I'm talking about trash and trash removal and taking out the trash, I'm reminded of this. I should have taken a picture of this picture the other day. This is my HOA story. I hopefully am not going to collect too many of these HOA stories for you. I'm not going to mention the HOA. I'm sure they are fine people that do a fine job, but this is basically well, I do have another story for you. We'll spread out the stories. I'm not going to hammer you with a lot of consumer type stories and other things going on in my life. We'll go one per day. This would be the latest here, or this actually extends back to last week. It's all resolved now. It's all fine. So I get my mail. That's a whole other story. Just getting the mail for the first time. That's a story for another day. We will save that one. But I get my mail for the first time last week or the week before. And I'm just running through all the typical mail. New home buyer, you get all these offers from people. I listened to 2 spiels last week about water filtration systems that were supposed to be 20 or 25 minutes, and they extended to like an hour and a half. But I get the mail. I'm going through the mail, and I actually can't wait to get to your comments both today and from yesterday's show. But I'm going through the mail, and there's a letter from the HOA. I look at it. It's about trash removal and times and hours and days and all those sorts of things. And I'm just thinking, well, everybody gets this. It's not a big deal. There it is. I can file that away somewhere. But then I notice as I'm sifting through it that I have been given a violation. I'm like, what? I have a violation for taking out the trash. What could this possibly be? I look through it. And then I notice, okay, there's a second page here. It is a picture of my trash barrel and my recycling container just kind of haphazardly just sitting on the driveway, not positioned in an orderly way in the corner, anything like that, just like in the middle of the driveway. Well, it didn't take me 2 seconds to realize, because I wouldn't do that. Number one, I just immediately take the trash, unless there's some hurricane blowing through and I didn't get a chance to get out there. And obviously that would be a different story. So aside from the hurricane event, I don't do that. I'm a pretty orderly, clean person. So anyway, I look at this picture and it immediately comes to mind. What is this? Do you know what it is? Well, it's when they initially dropped off the trash barrel and the recycling bin. I was gone. I come home, and lo and behold, the trash barrel and the recycling bin had been dropped off by the city, and that's the manner in which they dropped it off. So my condo association, or some fine neighbor of mine, who probably is the local policing of the neighborhood, took that picture while I was gone, not understanding that I didn't do that. I'm not responsible for that. That picture was taken after it was dropped off. That was done by the city. Okay, so on top of that, I called my HOA 6 consecutive days and left a message before my phone call was returned. 6 consecutive days, because I didn't want to just send an email or leave a message. I wanted to make the point clear. Take this off my file, out of my file. I didn't do this. All right. We do appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football for Wake Up College Football. And let's go to the comments today. Let's see what's going on with all of you. Conundrums here. The portal is open. Yes, it's day 1. We have yet to get to it. Good to see you, Conundrum. letting us know that the 3 Indiana players keep refreshing. Yes, that is what needs to be executed. Yes. Refresh, refresh, refresh. I got into the habit about 3 years ago of checking the transfer portal on 247 like about 3 times a day. And I also do that with commits. I just Google 2025 commits, do that about 3 times a day. Okay, who committed? Anything I need to move on. Jackson, good to see you. Ralph's here as well. Yes, looking for a good destination, which once we get to the headlines, I will be asking once again today. I'm going to go to the ESPN headlines, but if you have a favorite destination for the headlines, and again, if you weren't with us yesterday, picture old school, checking out the newspaper first thing in the morning. That's what we're going to do. Check out the headlines. Uncle Rico likes the music. I checked out about 25 cuts. I got down to 2. I put in like pop, light. I wanted something bouncy. I like it too. There were 2 that I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's all free through YouTube. It's copyright cleared. So, hey, maybe we'll switch it up every so often. Maybe for our 2nd season. But yeah, it's bouncy. It's bouncy. Conundrum. It's right there with me. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Conundrum. Starbucks and coffee cake. Coffee cake. I got to say, I wouldn't necessarily turn down coffee cake, but there are categories of, I'm going to put that in it's cake, junk food category. There are junk food selections that are like, oh, gotta have it. Can't wait. Look at this. Case in point. I shouldn't have, but I do this like once a week. Turkey Hill sponsorship, thank you very much. Okay, 2 half gallons. There we go. Ice cream, cookies, donuts. Fudge, not that I eat fudge very often. I requested fudge this last Christmas, and that was granted by my sister and sister-in-law, so thank you. Hadn't had fudge probably in I don't know how long, but so those are like must-haves or really need to stay away from, but must-haves in regards to coffee cake. And if it's sitting there, sure. But Conundrum, thanks for that. We have thrown out so many brand names in the first 2 days of this show. Cliff's here. Good to see Cliff. 247 Sports has transfer portal updates, but I think it's updated daily, not minute by minute. What you need to do is actually go to Twitter and go to 247 Sports transfer updates. They post all the time. Troy's here. Rise and shine, you sleepy heads. Starts at 9 a.m., so we're already into it. A Michigan wide receiver in the portal. Hey, Sonny's here. I am going to, yes, I'm glad I'm doing this as well. It gets my day off to a good start. Also, if I could parlay this new schedule into producing a video on the main channel, that's my goal. I would like to produce 2 videos per day for the main channel. I can't even get 1 done most days, but since I'm already up, and then do a video for the Bible channel as well. Troy says, I had my great niece and nephew here until midnight last night and had to be up until 4:30 to get a report in. Oh my goodness, Troy. That's the night I had last night, the night before, preparing for the first day. I went to bed at 1:15 or 1:30, thought I'll get 5 hours of sleep or so. Got a phone call, was up till 4:30 in the morning. All right, football and basketball, huh? Ferris is here. Good to see Ferris. Adam's here. Appreciate Adam. Slept until 3 p.m. yesterday and ignored all calls. I felt like that guy from Office Space. I have a confession to make. And as soon as I take these off, I now know it's going to be fun to read one of the comments in the comment section from the initial show. But anyway, I take off the glasses to say this. Yeah, so since I went to sleep at like 4:30 in the morning, got up at 7, and yes, so when I got done here, I did a couple things. I had an appointment a couple hours later, and we got done here about 10. And so about 10:30, started to do a few things on my laptop, and I have no furniture here, so I'm doing everything either at my desk, on the set upstairs, or in bed. And I just kind of just nonchalantly just kind of dropped the laptop to my side. Took a little nap, little cat nap. That felt good, but can't be doing that. This needs to be the new schedule. All right. Ralph says Michigan announces every player and coach into the portal to make Ohio State fans happy and maybe give them a chance to win the game this year. Greg's here. Jim, I apologize if you are a regular viewer, but I believe this is the first time I've seen your name here. So thank you so much for being here, first and foremost. I don't know what that... Need more drinks on the counter and you're all set. Yeah. That's one kind of drink, Jim. Jim's checking out the back round here. Yeah, it's all water. It's all water from the good old Walmart. Bought some more yesterday. Did I reference my boy, Landry? I think I did. Yes. Too soon to bring up the 98 loss. Yes. Uncle Rico, yes. Thrown for a loop because of trash day. Just completely took me off my game. Jim, water once a week on Friday, few ounces. I hope we're not talking about water intake. Let's step that up a little bit, Jim. We want to keep you around here. Rob says, Mark in the morning could get used to this. I hope so. Let's get used to this. It's a beautiful sound first thing in the morning. The birds chirping, tweet, tweet, like a gentle birds chirping. We can all relate to that. And then suddenly the jackhammer comes in. So good to see all of you. Can't go through all of this. I was on a roll about something. I think I've lost my roll at this point, but we'll get it back. We're going to check out the headlines in just a second. Nebraska's the doormat of the Big Ten. Yes, we may have. I've already had Miami and Florida fans show up at the door and let me know that they didn't appreciate my doormat. Ralph had a garbage can stolen. Damn thing cost $44. Okay, hopefully I'm not missing anything because I can't go through all the comments here. Dylan, good morning. Ohio State has not decided on a quarterback, but it seems Ryan Day's son wants to come to Clemson in 2027. Any idea why? So I'm going to plead a lot of ignorance here. I know that Ryan Day has a son. I'm guessing he's a quarterback. And Is he good enough to play at Clemson? Okay. Denard Robinson, yes, Ralph, we will get to that in just a second. I did see that from late yesterday. Ohio State due for a win. Could we possibly make it one show without mentioning Ohio State and Michigan? Could we possibly do that? I know that I got it started today. I did. All right. So those are the comments from today. Yesterday, I wanted to check in, get some feedback, see what everyone had to say about the initial show. And so let's see what we have here. Because I did check them out, but I may have missed a few. Oh my word! So YouTube has changed. Did anyone notice this? They've changed their format. They just did this yesterday. So, for example, excuse me for fumbling around, but I've got all these various windows open. So, for example, here's yesterday's show. Now, for the entirety of YouTube, until yesterday, of course, you would see the video playing, and then underneath you would get the comments, not the comments from the chat that you see on the one side of the screen, but the comments that were left after the show was over. And now all they do is pitch you a bunch of other videos. So I'm like, huh? What happened to the comments? Where do I get the comments? What is going on? Like, this is completely different than it was before. Maybe, here we go. So all this information, they've just kind of rearranged the screen out of nowhere. And I probably got some kind of notice about it from YouTube, and I just ignored it. Possibly. So let's see if you can read the comments here. I'll make sure that you guys can see them. I think you can. All right. Ferris Khan says, I improved my breakfast this morning by watching this show. I came for the sports, but got breakfast tips as well. Speaking of which, everyone, well, we'll get to the breakfast deal. Let's get through the comments here. Moose, go blue. That's a quote. I was quoting Moose when I said that. I never read the newspaper much growing up, or read the newspaper much growing up, but when I happened to snag it, it was either the Detroit Free Press or the Ann Arbor News. Okay. Terrence, I love this new morning show. Great way to start my workday. Terrence, thank you. You made my day. That's what I like to hear. Terry, yes, be water, my friend. Terry says, here is what you, okay, 1 biscuit cut in half, hash browns on top, 1 egg on top, covered with sausage, gravy, covers everything. All right, Terry, thank you for that. And that reminds me, you can make me breakfast, make Mark breakfast. Just send in the super chat that covers whatever items that you would like us to purchase. And I will not necessarily get to it the next day. That means I could be running to the store every day to do this. But within the next 3 or 4 days, following your request of whether that's you want me to try something, like I've never had grits. If you want me to try grits, you make the request. I'll get the grits. We'll try the grits. I know they can be made 84 different ways. But any of this, that you would like to see me try various breakfast foods, or just think that I should eat healthy, so you could purchase that for me. But you can make Mark breakfast, send in the super chat, or Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App is more effective. Wink, wink. It's more effective. You bypass all the YouTube nonsense. The real MVP, look at that, checking in. Mark is at his best when he is roasting other people's opinions. I want more roasting videos. Yeah, I felt kind of bad about that, and I'll address that elsewhere. Did I feel bad about it? I still think that the article was complete rubbish that I talked about in a recent video. So I love this comment. This is the comment I wanted to get to right here. Terrence writes, bro, just keep the glasses on. The squinting, putting them on and off is giving me Harbaugh vibes. Now, that might be enough to keep me from doing that back and forth. Your voice and knowledge is top of the line. Thank you for that, Terrence. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, this is going to continue. So this is like an old guy denying that he's old. That's all there is to it. Even with my contacts, which I rarely wear anymore, once I left my last job and didn't have to be at work every day, I would wear contacts into work every day and wore contacts like all day, every day. And this was until 2020. Then once I started doing this, and I didn't have to like get ready for work and go into work, I stopped wearing my contacts, even though I hate wearing my glasses. I just don't like the feel of having glasses on. I don't like how I look in glasses. I like how I look like this without glasses on. Call me vain, call me whatever you will. That's just the way it is. Just telling the truth. Don't like to wear my glasses. But the problem with the contacts now is if I'm just hanging out with people, driving's fine. My contacts are perfect for driving. Or again, just need to see the room, just hanging out. The glasses are fine, or the contacts are fine. But I've gotten to that stage of life, unfortunately, that there is no cure-all for anything. I can't get glasses. Maybe I need to get need to get that LASIK surgery. That's what I need to try. Because there is no state between nothing, glasses, or contacts that solves or deals with every situation, regardless. Like if I'm reading and I've got a book or something right in front of me, I don't want anything in. I don't want my glasses. I don't want my, that's good right there. Now, if I've got my contacts in, like I've noticed this the last few weeks, gone out to a restaurant a few times, I can't read the menu. I got my contacts in, I can't read the menu. So, but with my glasses do take care of just about everything, except, well, my glasses do, they are a cure-all for everything. I do admit that, but I certainly can, I'm good till about there without the glasses. But Terrence, I appreciate the compliment. I'm glad that you're here for us. The voice, yeah, well, I never bragged about my voice because it's average. It's fine. Gets the job done, but I don't have the pipes that some people do. Knowledge, thank you for that, Terrence. But I'm sorry, bro. I'm going to continue to drive you nuts by putting my glasses on and off. I just am. Is this? No, it's not George, is it? Is it George? It's George's avatar icon there, his profile picture. Go Gators. Beat Miami. That's George. That's George. Wet Blankets here. Don't forget K-State and Will Howard played Ewerless, Texas. Yes, at some point I was talking about Will Howard and Kansas State and the game against Texas. Yes, I'm aware of that. Thank you for that, Wet Blanket. Thought we had other comments, but this is not scrolling anymore. Maybe that's it. So just checking out the comments from yesterday. All right. Let's get to the headlines. That's why we're here. We've been on for 51 minutes. I've yet to get to the headlines. I don't think there's anything there that's that pressing. Yes, Ferris saying here, I bought a new TV and I could not read the scores at the bottom. I thought it was the TV. No, it was me. I know. I hate that. I can't watch TV without glasses now. Yeah, the TV would have to be, even if the laptop is in close proximity, like it is right here, it's probably less than 2 feet in front of me. I can't read your comments. No. But Terrence in particular has seen this many times, I'm sure. All right, let's get to the headlines. And we've got, not to bring the show down because, yeah, we're going to bring the show down because the headlines are typically not good. They're typically stuff that we don't want to read about, don't want to know about. Well, we do want to know about because people like bad news. Okay, what do we have here? Let's get back to the headline. I got to say, I am completely amiss to this story. I don't know anything about it. I have heard this story referenced a few times in the comments section. And so I don't know anything about this story. I don't know anything about it, but we're going to read the latest. Lawsuit seeks millions from Chiefs, Rashee Rice, SMU's Teddy Knox. So that's the college football connection. This coming from ESPN. Rashee Rice and Teddy Knox are being sued in Texas for over $1 million in actual damages, $10 million in punitive damages by two people who say they were injured in a 6-vehicle crash March 30th in Dallas. That's all I know. There was a crash. There was an accident. The plaintiffs, Edvard Petrovsky and Irina Gromova, alleged that Rice and Knox deliberately raced their vehicles at speeds well beyond the posted limits and caused the 6-vehicle crash that led to their injuries. Rice is a wide receiver for the Chiefs, leaseholder of both vehicles, and was driving one at the time of the crash. Knox, a football player and former teammate of Rice at SMU, was driving the other. Rice is 23, Knox 21, facing 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury, according to police. And they're fortunate nobody died. In the lawsuit, Petrovsky and Gromova claim injuries that include brain trauma, cuts to the face requiring stitches, bruises, disfigurement, and internal bleeding. They are asking for actual damages that include medical care, physical pain and suffering, loss of earning capacity, mental anguish, and property damage of $71,000. Don't you love these figures? Somebody calculated this. Somebody came to this determination on the legal side. $71,122.69. On April 3rd, Rice said in an Instagram post that he took full responsibility for his actions. Well, looks like he's on the hook for $71,000 plus. Earlier Monday, Chiefs coach Andy Reid said that the team expects Rice to participate as they began their offseason program Monday with virtual meetings. Reid said, or would not say, whether the Chiefs were planning to have Rice participate later in the spring. I want to keep gathering the information from the law enforcement people. Knox has been suspended by SMU, which said in a statement last week that it, quote, takes these allegations seriously. Well, I hope so. So there is that. Just a minor college football connection there. So I don't have any. Sorry, I clicked the wrong button. I don't have any real response to that. I know that yesterday I went on for 2 hours responding to headlines and our story for the day, except to say, I believe, without reading Uncle Rico's statement, I'm probably going to fall right in line with this. These clowns caused a car accident, 6 car accident, and then just walked away and left the scene. So there you go. Justice be served. Absolutely, Uncle Rico. I couldn't have stated it any better. There it is. People need to be held accountable in this society. Oh boy, I could rant forever about the disgusting and deplorable acts that I see on a regular basis in our society these days that are unaccounted for. People committing crimes who shouldn't even be on the street because of all the crimes they've committed previously. You hear about these people who are pillaging and raping and murdering people, and then you see the rap sheet that's longer than my arm, and I am just, our legal system is letting us down. There's nothing wrong with the formation of the legal system, the foundation of the legal system, the principles of the legal system. They're not airtight and perfect. No system could be. But good Lord, we have lawlessness going on all over the place. Okay. So that's our first headline of the day. The next one involves Michigan football, and not just any old staffer here. And I was not wanting to see this. So maybe the Michigan football program would like to put together some type of seminar. They may want to do this. This is becoming a trend. It's like driving and drag racing at the University of Georgia amongst their football players. They have a serious driving issue down there. Here we are. Adam Rittenberg writes, Michigan staffer Denard Robinson suspended after arrest for OWI. They keep changing the blank WI. You had DUI, you had DWI, now we've got OWI. So here we go. Can everyone see this? All right, I believe so. Michigan staff member Denard Robinson, former star quarterback, arrested early Monday, operating while intoxicated after a single vehicle crash in Ann Arbor. Police confirmed the arrest of Robinson, 33, still only 33 years old. Wow. It seems like he played a generation ago. Maybe he did play a generation ago. How are generations measured? Is that every 20 years? Who serves as Michigan's assistant director of player personnel at approximately 3:05 in the morning. All right. So it's been famously said that nothing good happens after midnight or 2 a.m. or certainly 3:04 a.m. The crash occurred about 1.5 miles south of Michigan's football headquarters at Schembechler Hall. Charges against Robinson are pending. Toxicology reports. Michigan has suspended Robinson indefinitely. We will continue to monitor the situation, Sharon Moore said. Former Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh hired Robinson in February of 22 after Robinson had worked as a scouting assistant and in quality control for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was the team that drafted him, as we see in the next statement, in the 5th round in 2013. Played 4 seasons for the team, which his NFL career was basically a confirmation that he should have never been a quarterback in college. Although he was fun to watch and he was an explosive, dynamic player, it was painful to watch the guy ever try to attempt a pass. He became proficient, might be a little bit of a stretch. He became reasonably proficient. He became functional, throwing the football, but it was pretty painful to watch. He started 37 games under Rich Rod and Brady Hoke, set NCAA records for career rushing yards by a quarterback. Does that still stand? Johnny Manziel had about 2,400 yards his first 2 years, but of course he only played 2 years, 2012 and 13. Anyway, single season rushing yards by a quarterback, 1,702 in that 7-6 season of 2010. That Michigan team lost to Mississippi State. What in the world was that score? 45-7, something like that. 52-7, 52-10. He earned first team All-America honors in 2010. Did he really? As what? Hopefully not as a quarterback. He was not a first team All-America quarterback. Maybe some kind of a made up additional position. They do that sometimes, like a utility guy that they make up they want to honor gadget type players. There's no way he was first team All-American quarterback in 2010. The Chicago Tribune Silver Football is Big Ten MVP. Florida native set Michigan career records for total offense and total touchdowns. So yes, what I was alluding to about the seminar that may be needed at the University of Michigan, as it states here in the final paragraph, defensive line coach Greg Scruggs was arrested March 16th and resigned 5 days later. And of course, that was about 5 days after he was hired, if that. So he was out celebrating, apparently. And so the former Wisconsin defensive line coach, Greg Scruggs, gone. And so that's unfortunate concerning Denard Robinson. So it's unfortunate. Anytime somebody does something stupid, whether it's just like kind of dumb, stupid, immature, he's 33 years old, he's got a prominent position, he's a prominent person in that community, he should know better. Even to the point where I'm going to bring up the name, even though people scatter, OJ, the situation with OJ last week, of course, he passed away. We talked about his transgressions, which are very obvious and plain for everyone to see, regardless of what was decided in 1994. So I actually feel bad for that individual. Now, not more so than the victims involved by any stretch. Do not get me wrong there. But I feel bad for the individual because they've ruined their lives. And I just can't imagine what is going through somebody's mind and heart to commit those things, first of all, and then to live with it after that, especially some of these people that are in total denial for the rest of their lives. Okay, on that happy topic, yeah, Joey letting us know that maybe Bob Huggins has been getting around the region there, took a trip to Michigan, and basically showed the local Michigan football team the way to do it. Bob Huggins sure can coach basketball. So sorry. I've done that twice now. Too many tabs. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Stay with me. If I disappear for... I think I've done that like 3 times in 10 years. I've done that like 3 times in 10 years, and now we do it twice in like 4 minutes. Okay. Keep track of the tabs, Mark. All right, let's go to our next headline. I believe I've got the right tab. There we go. So we could be reading these transfer portal updates all day. I might as well just cancel the 3 p.m. transfer portal update and we'll just stay on all day. Maybe we'll do a transfer portal round the clock watch Okay. So what we got here is okay. This is driving me nuts. I have been a defender of freedom of choice, freedom of movement. I don't like it for college football. It is not good for you, the college football fan, to have to, okay, be expected. And when I say expected, expected by who? Well, expected by basically the power structure of college football that you are going to be loyal to your team, right? That's what's expected because you're going to show up at the games, you're going to buy merchandise, buy gear, you're going to watch the games on television and drive up those TV ratings to justify the college football playoff payout and the regular season contracts that we've seen the likes of Fox, NBC, and CBS in particular distribute to the Big Ten here in the last year at almost $1 billion per year. It's like an 8-year, 7-year contract, 6.8 billion, whatever it is. It's roughly $1 billion a year. Okay, here's the issue. We're not even having players stay at a program to play for 1 year. That's bad enough. I'm a huge Major League Baseball fan, or I used to be. I don't watch it anymore, but it's a beautiful sport. It is the most beautiful sport, but I stopped watching about 2017, 18, 19, somewhere in that range. But it's like, and this comes to mind readily for me right now, because my son got me hooked on this game. Have you ever seen this? Immaculate Grid. And basically they give you a little baseball. It's a grid and you've got to answer the category in both directions, meaning it's a 9 square Brady Bunch tic-tac-toe kind of grid. And if you've got career 300 hitter and then you've got Pittsburgh Pirates here, you've got to name a player for the Pittsburgh Pirates who had a career batting average of 300. Well, that's easy. Roberto Clemente. There you go. But you want to go with the most obscure player possible because that raises your score. Anyway, I could get hooked on this. I have done my best not to, and I've done well to just play a couple, and then I'm done. I put it to the side. Anyway, why did I bring all that up? Because looking at these because I started looking at old baseball lineups the other day. I'm looking at the just random, just probably pages on baseballreference.com that have not been darkened for weeks, if not longer. The 2004 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Just to reacquaint myself with some players and think, man, I could not name any of those players if you just asked. Well, I could name a couple of those players if you just asked me. But once I look at the line, in 2004, I knew everybody who played in the major leagues. Getting back to my point, I was reminded when I looked at James Shields, for example, that he pitched for I looked at Ty Wigginton. Remember Ty Wigginton? Who remembers Ty Wigginton? Anybody? Mets, Rays, those were his two most prominent teams. Third baseman, came up with the Mets, was supposed to be a star. Turned out to be a serviceable, kind of power hitting third baseman, 22, 24 home runs a year during his best years. Played for 8 teams. This is what this is going to start to be. We're going to start to look at the proverbial back of the baseball card for these college football players and see, played at Louisville, Wake Forest, Houston, Penn State. That's his career. What? So there needs to be structure built into this. If anything, they at least need to commit to a football season. That is at the very baseline. That has to be established. Commit for one season. And you know what? If you change your mind, sorry, you sit out. Sit out for the year. Caden Proctor, sit out for the year. I have been very lenient, and again, I defend as an American. I consider myself a patriot of sorts. I believe in our way of life, capitalism, all of it, to the hilt. Regulated, of course, but to the hilt generally. And I am all about freedom of speech, freedom of options, opportunity, movement. But this is ridiculous. There has to be, within that structure of freedom, there has to be responsibility and accountability. And part of that is, when you transfer, you have to sign some papers, correct? You're receiving a scholarship. Well, you're committed for a year. At the very least, you have to be committed for a year. This is going to turn into a video that probably no one will watch, but I'm going to go on a rant about this. All right. So as soon as I saw this name, I thought, well, he didn't even play for Louisville last year. He's a MAC running back. Yeah, Toledo. Because he led the conference in rushing. Yeah. This guy's a really good player. Don't even call him Louisville running back, Penei Boone. I believe that's how you pronounce it, too. It's Penei. I don't believe it's Penny. He's not a Louisville running back. He never was. Did he go to spring football? I guess. Big deal. So these type of situations, and if our lovely viewer Erica is on board today, she can, of course, more than any of us, relate to this with the Caden Proctor situation, which is the most egregious one, not for just what he did while in college, but prior to his college commitment, where he had Iowa fans hanging on his every move and committed to the school for months and months and months and months and months. And then boom, right before signing day, no, I'm going to Alabama. And then he reverses course. They roll out the red carpet after one season at Bama. And I can't. That is just, if you are going to benefit from the system, then you have to be accountable to a certain degree. You have to show some level of commitment. So this needs to be addressed immediately. Second transfer in 4 months. He could transfer again. Left Toledo, entered the portal in January, choosing the Cardinals. So basically, in the case of this guy Boone, and especially the Caden Proctor situation, not only have they not contributed to their current football program. For Boone, it's Louisville. For Proctor, let's say it's Iowa, since he showed up for 3 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it was. Not only did they not contribute anything to that program, they drained that program. That needs to be the justification of putting in a rule. They are draining that program of resources, of time. They're taking up coaching staff's time, effort, money. There's money and resources that's involved here to complete the transfer, all the paperwork, get him set up with a scholarship, get him a locker, get him a place to live. I'm sure he was fed during this time by the University of Louisville. For what? He didn't do anything. Nothing. He didn't do a damn thing for the University of Louisville. Nothing. He was a freeloader for 4 months. He was a freeloader. He took their gear. He took their money, their resources. He used their facilities. He worked out. He took their food. No. Okay. I can't read this article. He's a really good back. Played at Toledo. Won the MAC Offensive Player of the Year. 1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns. Finished 8th in the nation in rushing yards. Boone was a big addition for the Louisville staff as leading rushers Jawar Jordan and Isaac Garendo are both gone. That was a really good running back combination last year. Jordan was the lead back, but Garendo probably was better by season's end. The coaches did add Miami running back Donald Chaney through the portal as well, and he will likely have a bigger role with Boone leaving. Of course he will. He won't most likely. He will. And Donald Chaney's a really good talent, but he's always hurt. So, man, I got to tell you, that what do you guys have to say about this? Christopher has to say Mike Greenwell and Dave Henderson. He's thinking back to the 1986 Red Sox, or maybe the 88 Red Sox, because Greenwell got there a little bit later. Oil can boy. This is what you guys are talking about? I got you started on baseball here. LFG's here for like number 24, but I got to say, this is going to be the video of the day. Okay, I got you guys going on. These must be favorite players because from Jim, we've got all Reds except one Red Sox player. We've got Freddie Lynn, who then, of course, who else did Freddie Lynn play for? The Angels, the Orioles. Okay. Super chat coming in. We appreciate Keith being here. Thank you so much for that, Keith. Transfer portal is net positive for 50%. It contributed to Michigan's national championship. It sure did. I believe that Florida State and Michigan are the two most effective transfer portal programs. Florida State from the standpoint of a combination of quality and quantity. Florida State certainly supplemented their roster much more than Michigan did from a quantity standpoint, but also Jordan Travis was a transfer way before the portal was a thing. Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman, their two major playmakers last year, their best running back, who became one of the best running backs in the nation, Trey Benson, and on and on and on. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. But Michigan, I got to say, I most admire the way Michigan has handled the transfer portal in this way. It's not become the takeover that it has at places like Colorado or Michigan State with Mel Tucker initially. But they have supplemented their high school recruiting. Well, they won a national championship. Need we say anything else? If they need all you have to do is spot check Michigan on both sides of the ball, and you see, okay, offensive line was fortified here. There's Ladarius Henderson. There's another piece there and there. There's Arizona State. There's Stanford. There's Nugent. Yep. Look at the offensive line, how they've shored it up. Okay. Go to the defensive side of the ball. Yes, two of the best corners in college football were signed by Michigan. Oh, but the third guy, Josh Wallace, they plucked him out of the transfer portal from UMass. Yes, Michigan, most effective job out of the national championship contenders, and they won a national championship because of the transfer portal. Not that they depended on it, but they made the right choices. They were very effective analyzing their own team. Ferris says, before my time, but Mark the Bird Fidrich, who went 19-9 with a 2.34 ERA in 1976 as the Rookie of the Year, could have been the Cy Young winner. I think he finished second. Legendary Monday night game versus the Yankees. Yes, I remember it well. The Bird. Now, I don't remember that. I wasn't quite, that was right before my time. So I started to know kind of what was going on with baseball in 77, but my trigger year in all of sports, football and baseball in particular, 1978 is when I just went full throttle all the time. Yeah. And so I do recall Mark Fidrich's stats from 1976. 19-9, 234 ERA. You can check me on that. And yeah, talking to the baseball, he was the 5 years prior to Fernando, the mania, when baseball was a focal point in American sports. Yes. Great stuff there. Let's get back to the headlines. Do we really have anything else we want to hit? I guess I'm so disgusted by that transfer portal addition there. Again, I love the freedom of choice. I back it. I defend it. But he never played it down for Louisville. Tennessee's leading tackler, Elijah Herring. Well, at least he played for Tennessee. At least he contributed something. He led the team in tackles. So we're going to cover all this, folks. We are going to cover all of this at 3 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to do a transfer portal update live. Yes, Jim. Mark Fidrich started the All-Star game in 1976 at Yankee Stadium. I don't remember who started for the National League starting pitcher. I think it might have been Randy Jones. Anyway, those are things that I used to remember. Yeah, I used to know everybody's stats. LFG held me accountable. Thank you for that. Confirms the Fidrich 76 stat. Now, I couldn't tell you the rest of his stats for his career. I know that they were never approached anything close to that. I could give you a ballpark, like 450 ERA the next year. Yes. So we do appreciate everyone being here. Let's get to our next thing in line because, yeah, the rest of the headlines are transfer portal related. We're live at 3 p.m. Eastern time with a transfer portal update. So you may be asking, what's for breakfast, Mark? What is for breakfast? Well, I did make a run to the grocery store, and we could not have cereal, if you can hear me, and we will have the wireless mic. Again, let's all be in great anticipation of the great upgrade in the program here upcoming in the next few days, the wireless mic. Hopefully it works. So picked up some milk because we had no milk for our cereal yesterday. Not completely a breakfast food, but I did pick up some fresh strawberries and blueberries yesterday. And as you guys know, I'm at the store. It's my intent to go to the store once a week. That's my intent. I would like to be very systematic once a week. Don't waste my time going 3 and 4 times a week, but I usually head back at some point again. But I've got enough food right now that I should be good for like a week. I need to discipline myself, not going to the store, not going to any fast food drive-thrus, anything like that. I can eat what's in my house for a week. So I also got some bacon and eggs. We will fry up some bacon and eggs this week. I just am backing off on that because, again, you're not going to be able to hear me. I'm going to be standing back there for like 8 minutes frying up bacon and eggs, and that would be kind of not exactly entertaining. Did pick this up yesterday. So I showed you my vast array of cereals. Now, these cereals that I'm showing you, my cereal selections even 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and for the entirety of my life, if I would have shown you my cereal collection for my entire life, even as an adult, it would have looked entirely different than this. You would have had your sugar cereals, you would have had your borderline healthy cereals, Raisin Nut. We were talking about cereals yesterday. We are in the future, we're going to take a cereal poll one of these days, both favorites, and then unfortunately our favorites can't always be our go-tos because of the health aspect. But my selections, even a year ago, 2 years ago, wouldn't have been anything close to this. It would have been a bunch of sugar cereals, and then would have been me trying to be healthy with the likes of Raisin Nut brand, which is full of sugar, or Cheerios, which, if Cheerios is not the most purchased cereal in the history of cereals, I'd be slightly surprised. I never got it. I was like, why do people eat this? Is this really good for anyone? And it's not. It doesn't taste good. It just tastes like nothing. It's like shoving styrofoam in your mouth. But we picked this up, and this lured me in. I've had this a few times already, but it's low. Well, it's not that low, and it's low compared to regular brands. It's at 6 grams total sugar, carbs 18 grams. That's probably a little high. I can read the label, but I don't always understand the label. Total carbs 18 grams, which is supposedly 7% of the daily value. So you're supposed to eat that many carbs in a day, like 14 times a serving. I don't know. So anyway, it's somewhat good for me, hopefully, because it's pricey. It is pricey. Eating healthy is pricey. That's another thing that I think may be a bit of a racket in this country, is to eat healthy. I don't know. I can't say this for sure. I have nothing to verify or confirm this. I gotta think that it doesn't cost that much more money to produce healthy food. I do think that there's a faction of the powers that be that are keeping people sick, not wanting people to be healthy. There would be entire industries in this country that would collapse if people were healthy. Insurance, pharmaceutical, and on and on and on. I was talking to somebody the other day about their medical situation. They made a comment about doctors. Doctors being so clueless about nutrition, which kind of surprised me, because I would have thought, we're in 2024, and I have not visited a doctor much. Now, I had a bit of a gut check of sorts about, this was right around COVID, so 2020, that I thought, okay, I should go see a doctor. So I went to go see a doctor, and then I was in Connecticut at the time, saw the doctor a few times, and seemed like a great doctor. He was recommended. The doctor I had before him, completely incompetent, complete buffoon. And this was verified to me by other people that were patients of his. So I will not name his name. Seemed like a very nice man. I probably saw him because I had kidney stones, which he didn't detect. Anyway, so I moved on from him to another doctor, found a decent doctor in Connecticut. Why did I bring that up? And then didn't see anybody for a few years, and then moved to Ohio and had a conversation with my brother, and he suggested, and it's a great suggestion, just have all your blood work done, just the full throttle blood work. Absolutely. So fortunately, all of that came back healthy in flying colors, despite some of my bad choices in life. But I say that just assuming that these guys are up on nutrition these days. You know, this information's everywhere, let alone to them. I would think that doctors, the most important thing that you can do in life for health, for physical health, not period, but for physical health, is what you eat. And this has been a struggle of mine my entire life. Well, it's only been a struggle for about 5 or 10 years that I've paid any attention to it. Before that, I could care less. If I ate McDonald's every day, it didn't, and ate Oreos every day, that's just how I lived my life. And I didn't gain a pound and I felt great, and who cares? But since I've been attempting to eat healthy, it surprises me that I have had a few people in my life mention to me that they don't think doctors are in tune with nutrition. That should be the first thing. Although I did say in response, well, it's really their job to treat disease, to treat people, and not to prevent it. So, but that's our cereal selection. So I will probably have some of those as soon as we get off the air. Here, let's put the milk back in the fridge so it's nice and cold. So again, if you would like to offer a breakfast item, a menu, something you would like to see me try, cook, I can cook as long as I've got directions, and you don't need to supply those. I'll look them up. So I'm a horrible cook, but if I've got directions, meaning like when I had HelloFresh, everything turned out perfect. They tell you exactly what to do and how long. I can follow directions. You can buy me breakfast. What's for breakfast, Mark? Make out my menu. Send me a super chat. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App is actually much more effective. And just to cover the costs of the food, and we will make up whatever. We've got our blender back here somewhere. And for smoothies, I got out of the smoothie habit. I need to get back into it. I was into smoothies for a couple of years, and I've hardly had one for probably the last year and a half. My living situation has been up in the air, and I've lost all sorts of sense of all sorts of things. Still talking baseball. Love it. Yes, Jim, I believe that to be true myself. Farrah says, go to the farmer's market. I didn't go to the farmer's market yesterday, but I went to a Walmart that was unlike any Walmart I've ever been to. It was like a farmer's market. I was shocked. It was clean. The aisles didn't seem any wider than usual, but for some reason it wasn't all cluttered, and my cart worked. It actually rolled easily and seemed functional. Like, it was astounding. The cashier was friendly. The cashier spoke to me. The cashier had a smile on his face. It was unlike any Walmart experience I've ever had. And it looked like an old-time type of store. It was not in an old building either. It was in a plaza that looked like it was built like in 2013. So that was a bit different, and that was great. We're bringing up baseball matchups. I could be into this all day. So we do appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. We do appreciate all of you. And bring a friend with you. Tell everyone that you know that we talk college football. We talk breakfast. We talk whatever comes to mind each and every day here, bright and early at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 a.m. on the West Coast. Anybody in from the West Coast? Catfish Hunter and Vita Blue. Catfish Hunter, of course, won the Cy Young in 74. Vita Blue in 71. All right. It was a Walmart market, Dylan. Thank you for that. I had never been to one. Thanks for being here at the Voice of College Football again. Next show is the Transfer Portal Update Live. And that, again, is coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. There it is. So please join us for that. We will run down all the happenings in the transfer portal up to the minute right here at the Voice of College Football. Have a great day.